respect each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings.
Grand Rising, Namaste, Ashe, Shalom, peace. Hope everyone's doing good out there. It's a lot of BS going on around here. We gotta dodge it. You gotta dodge it like the plague, you know? They own it. They own it and they have to multiply it. They have to multiply the negative. They have to. They have to multiply this negative. Promise you. This is not new to them. This level of negativity, this toxicity, it's not new to them. They have been doing this for the longest period of time, you know. Even if you look at it like this is it, you know. You got healthy support and then you have toxic support, right? This is their mindset. This is why building a collective is important, or you should take it important. When you start gathering, if we were ever in the time of the gathering, you have to be cautious of who you're gathering around. You know what I mean? You're gathering around bad spirits. You're gathering around low vibrational entity. This is why you guys don't feel like energetic when you leave out of certain, groups. When you leave out of certain platforms and stuff like that, this is why you don't feel energetic. This is why you feel drained. This is why you feel like you got to take a nap, go to sleep, right? This is why. What? What the hell is they talking about? So yeah, so this is why like you see this online. Like this is not like this is repeated stuff, right? You have the trolls, you have the mods, you have the people that go around to get shit started for you in other people comment section. And this just repeats over and over and over again. This just repeats. You know, this cycle of madness just repeats. It does not stop. It feeds itself. You know, this feeds itself. And really, like for the ones who are allowing it to drain their energy, that's the ones I feel bad for. But if you are dealing with it properly and you know how to deal with this, then you probably, you probably are dealing with it differently than some people. If you know how to deal with it, you know what I mean? But you have to know how to deal with it. You have to know how to deal with it, right? Blind loyalty to a creator or team, you know, dismisses or ignores contradicting evidence, right? So anything that contradicts their creator's story, that's what they going, yeah, that's not real. But the creator who they support is always telling the truth, always real. It's always a us versus them thinking, always a pick a side. If you go over there, I'm gonna block you, so on and so forth, right? uh, the attacks that they have on other content creators platforms and stuff like that, trying to take other people's support, trying to tear other people down. The echo chamber, like literally you can see that there's an echo chamber going on in the black tea sector. You can see that echo chamber going on right now. There's slippery slopes that happens with this too. Like a healthy supporter enjoys the creator but doesn't idolize them, opens new information and different opinions, evaluates claims, the you know what I'm saying, uh even going to do their own research and support. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. You know, even the variations of things like so you got to be cautious of these slopes when you realize what's happening, right? The drama escalating, misinformation getting put out there, right? Friendships and community breakups, mental and emotional exhaustion. Creators may profit, but the trust be lost in a lot of this, right? So when you building your collective on YouTube and you have this scenario where it's like you think the creator might be profiting off of it, but they're losing out because they have a chance to build, you know what I'm saying, the collective, they have a chance to build the group, so on and so forth. But this is what you get. This is the rhetoric that you get right here, right? Creator A, creator B, like these are different types of, you know, creator support systems, right? And the panel, the comment section, everybody plays a role, right? Even the trolls, even the people that are in the bushes, right? Everybody plays a role. So you have to watch this, you know, collective when you're building a collective on here. If you actually want to build your platform on integrity, right? Be authentic, be as you know, authentic as possible and allow that space for people to come to voice their opinion, you know, even if it's not of your liking, right? Still allow them to have their opinion because everybody opinions matters, even though we're a world full of opinions, right? But you have these echo chambers that are built because what these people do is they'll block anybody who's not agreeing with them in the comment section, or they'll try to tear down your comment so that way you won't make a comment or won't say anything in their comment section. So you'll see that repeated, you know, repetitive form of actions on here where they are, you know, painting out this or painting out that, right? So critical thinking, you know, is one way to break the cycle, you know, value, truth, and loyalty, so on and so forth. Respect different perspectives, right? Enjoy all content, not conflict, right? So enjoy the conflict is the problem. Some people are enjoying the conflict between, you know, creators. They're enjoying the conflict, right? Enjoy the content, not the conflict, right? So, you know, if you are going to be in the black tea sector and you taking a sip of this black tea, you know, enjoy the content, not the conflict. A lot of y'all have found enjoyment in the conflict, right? So now you only finding enjoyment in the negative spaces. It needs to be low vibrational. It needs to have that cursing, that F you, the getting on each other, tearing each other down, jonesing, whatever you want to call it. You might want to you say iron sharpen iron is not really sharpening. You know, these, you know, they're not broadening their vocabulary. They're not trying to sound educated. It's going right back into this low vibrational sense. And it's kind of funny because they infiltrated music the same way when they found out that music was putting people in a higher vibrational frequency of their self. They started implementing the 808 drum. And when they found out social media was putting people in a higher vibrational frequency of their self, they started manipulating people's pages, tearing down pages, attacking pages so you won't feel or believe in yourself. You know, that's why our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measures, right? Because if people find out that you can build a business or a brand around yourself online, right? Which we have to start doing. I employ more people to try to look at themselves as a business, a brand, a corporation, because once they start implementing, you know, certain things, technology and stuff into society, right? It's going to take away a lot of jobs. Yes, it's going to put life at a more faster pace, but it's going to start eliminating jobs. So you might as well build a brand or an image around yourself now. And since we are moving to digital currency, the best way to do it is through a digital form. So however you do it the best way you can, but don't be fooled by these different measures of trickery that's on here, right? All of these people, they're on here, they are making money off of the conflicts. They're making money off of the conflicts. And then those who really try to advocate or speak about what's going on, they're tearing our pages down. When we're trying to point this out to y'all and what's happening, they're tearing our pages down because this is where all of the panhandlers started drifting to. Like, the panhandlers, back in the day, you had the panhandlers, like all the panhandlers have drifted to the internet now. Now they're panhandling on the internet, TikTok, YouTube, right? I see it on TikTok all the time. They have the people over there and they're like, donate, donate, gift my page, gift my page. Do anybody got, Venmo? Do anybody got, this, that, and the third, right? I see it. They just constantly keep on popping up. You know what I mean? So that's one thing right there, right? So that's why I say, like, if you paying attention to the world gonna tell you exactly what it is that we living in. The world gonna show you exactly the type of place we're living in. You know, you can open your eyes and act like you see it, or you can keep on ignoring it and act like it doesn't exist. But the world is showing us everything that we need to see, right? And we gotta have the willpower to change it, right? The world is showing us the type of world we live in. We just got to have the willpower to want to change it. I don't want to live in this negative realm, you know? I don't want to live in this ideal world where we keep on, like you got to think about it. The people who already made money, their job is to keep us in that mindset that, the government, the white man, this slave mentality that they're keeping us in. There's no other history like the history of America. There's no other history like the history of America. No other history like our history, right? You got to think about that. If there's no other history like our history, no other history like our history, none. And they just keep on embedding that into us. That's why they still do that's why they still do the whole, oh, let's do the color purple over again. Let's redo roots. Let's remind them of, because that's what they're doing. They're installing it. It's embedded in us, you know, that level of hatred towards us. They teach people that shit when they come over here. They teach people the level of hate that they should have towards Black Americans. That shit is not taught nowhere else. That shit is taught here in America. They teaching them when they come in the level of hate that they should have for us. And to me, that is the scariest thing ever. To me, that's the scariest thing ever. The people don't learn how to hate us until they get here. And then like the concept of it is like, damn, so like people don't learn about Black American history until they get here. This is when they learn about Black American history. World history don't teach you about the stuff that Black American history teach you about. Yeah, you're right. We do. We do, but that was installed in us. That was installed in us. Going back to, how everything is. That was something that was installed in us. Do you not see that? It was taught. It was literally taught. They taught it in schools. They taught it everywhere. They taught this shit. And literally, like in our history, it is taught. That's why they can come out with shit called the history of the slaves. That's why, they can get, all these British actors to come over here and play the role, of us and so on and so forth. That's why they could do that. you know, because they've been banking off of our pain for how long? How many groups, how many people get to bank off of our pain? How many people out there bank off of our pain? A bunch. A bunch of them bank off of our pain, you know? Even now with the drama and the BS that's going on, they banking off of pain still. See? You see how you keep on trying to misconstrue what I'm saying? I didn't say people wasn't taught to hate black people. I said people are not taught about black Americans' history, the history of slavery in America. They're not taught that until they get here. They're not in Africa teaching them that there's a group of people that was taken over on boats. They're not teaching that in Africa. That's a part of black American history. You see, I keep on adding the American in there, and you keep on taking it out and just looking at us all as black people. I'm talking about the history of slavery that took place in America. They don't teach that. That's not that until they come over here. That's when they hear about black Americans, right? When they come over here, they hear the stories of black Americans and how they should be scared of us and how they should be cautious of us and how that's installed when they come over here. I talked to many of people who took their citizenship, many of people who tells you they don't hear about black Americans until they get here. Like in our government, in the system of citizenship, they teach them about black Americans when they get here. Did you not get that? Teach them to be fearful of us, so on and so forth. They don't teach that because black Americans was never taken from. You're proving my point. You're proving my point. You're really proving my point and you're arguing against me. And you're proving my point. You're really proving my point and you're arguing against me. Make it make sense that you're proving my point. You do see you choose not to see it. You see what your feelings and emotions. So you choose not to see the other races that's hating on black people. You choose to act like it doesn't exist. That's your choice. That's your choice to try to act like you don't see the situation that just took place with that Chinese store clerk and the black dude running out and took his life over a bottle of water. You choose not to see the Carmelo Anthony situation. You choose not to see you're choosing not to see those things. That doesn't mean it's not happening, right? Just because you're choosing only to focus on black people hating on other black people and not the other, that's your choice. That's your choice to ignore the rest of it. You can't hate on, you can't be mad at the people who's choosing not to ignore it. You're choosing to ignore it, right? I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Chauncey Billings, whatever. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Chauncey Billings saying that all they see is black people hating on black people. They don't see the other people hating on black people. That's crazy. I mean, when you look at this world, people see, that's why I say, like, the laws of the universe have to play a role because people choose to see through feelings and emotions. So they choose to see it. Like, think about it. I want everybody right now to look at it, look around the room that they're in. Look around the room that you're in. Do you see anything upside down in the room that you're in? You don't see nothing upside down in the room that you're in, right? Yet they'll tell you that we see everything upside down and our mind turns everything right side up. So in your mind is making a choice to correct the mistake before it even hits your consciousness. Your mind is already correcting the mistake of the room that you're looking in and making everything right side up. So that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make those corrections in our mind before we even allow society to see these lower vibrations. We're supposed to make these corrections in our mind before we allow, ourselves to keep on doing this same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. You know? So even with everything that we see repeating in this world, it's repeating it's because our minds allow it to repeat in the same manner. We're not doing better. We're not choosing to do better. We have to make that choice to do better, to want to do better. We have to make that choice to want to do better. Once we make the choice to want to do better, then we'll hold everyone accountable for that, right? Because if you doing better and you trying to be better than the person that you was yesterday, right? If you trying to be better than the person that you was yesterday, then you too should be, having that same type of notion to where as though it's like, okay, boom, you can see it. Once you start making these corrections with yourself and you start holding yourself accountable and you start taking into consideration your own feelings and emotions, having emotional intelligence and all of that stuff, you'll see it when it's creeping out of somebody else, when they're letting their self slip back into old variations of selves. Like you'll see it. You'll be like, no, you know. I don't know about all of that. It's not. See. One thing is, one thing for sure, two things for certain. Like when people try to make it seem like people are doing this or people are doing that, then you got to start looking at it to say, like, first you have to identify the victim, a real victim, in order for somebody to be victim blaming. When you're porting out the frauds, when you're porting out the fraudulent schemes and the people who's playing on victim mentality, right? You can't say it's victim blaming because these people are pretending to be victims for a sympathy vote. So now it's even harder to actually give credit where credit is due because of that narrative right there, you know? So it's even harder now to actually, Yeah, that's the thing about, the way we moving in this world. It's like we're repeating the same thing over and over again, just in a different reality. Like the reality that we live in right now, okay, but we're still repeating the same thing in this reality. You know what I mean? Because in this reality, we're repeating the same like sin from the very beginning. And now it's more, hacked on top of that. So if you go to Revelation 17, 1 through 7, it'll tell you about, Mystery Babylon. It'll tell you about it. You know what I mean? It'll tell you about Mystery Babylon and the prostitute that sits by the waters. And then roughly around like 14 or 15, it'll tell you that, it'll tell you that the waters are the people, the multitude, the languages, the nations. Like it'll tell you what the waters are. So however you look at it, like we got an opportunity to learn. You know what I mean? We got an opportunity to learn and do better. We just got to do that. We just got to do better. You know what I mean? Since we got that opportunity, we got to do it. I mean, think about it. We come so far, right? We just come so far. We come too far already. When you look at it, we have come too far already. Just think about it. We went from eating with our hands to making forks and stuff. You know what I mean? So we right there where we you know what I'm saying? We just come too far. We should, embrace that, embrace the how far we came, into this society, dignified, so on and so forth, start holding ourselves to higher standards, holding ourselves to, a certain level of decorum, decency, moral compass, you know. If we still fumbling, over these same, blocking stones, then we really not advancing as a collective. We're really not moving forward into a unified mindset of oneness because we are not getting over these blocks that are allowing the variations of separations, right? So they gonna keep on pushing out, you know, these they're gonna keep on pushing out these variations of separation. They're gonna keep on doing it. You know what I mean? It's up to us, you know, to look past a lot of it. It's up to us. We have to, push past it, become bigger within ourselves. We have to, become better as a whole, and once they see that we're, holding ourselves to a higher standard, then they won't have to govern us anymore, you know? We're allowing the governing system to continue to take place because we keep on allowing them to put out examples of why we need to be governed. But if we start just holding each other to a higher level of standard, accountability, moral compass, all of that stuff, then guess what? The governing system is out of the window because we're all holding each other to human decency, you know? If we just have a higher moral compass, if we have a higher moral compass, we'll hold ourselves to that higher standards, you know? We'll hold ourselves to a higher level of decency, you know? Until then, this is what we gonna do. We just gonna keep on going through this same thing over and over again where we allow certain people to destroy our communities. You know what I'm saying? We allowing certain people to destroy the communities from inside. From inside, we allowing people to destroy the communities. Hey, appreciate the happy Father's Day. Love is love. Namaste. I say salutation. Shalom. Shout out to all the fathers out there, people, even if it's not your child, just if you fathering a child, you know, and you doing what's supposed to be done as a man, shout out to you. If you standing up for children, worried about the youth and the future generations, you know what I mean? That's what my real focus is. I'm looking at the youth, the future. Shit. I'll be looking at those baby commercials too. I'll be looking at baby commercials too. Like, man, I want to have another kid. And then I look at the women, I'm like, damn, is there anybody out there that really still values life and not money? And you know what I mean? Like, life is important, bringing life into this world. And you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, gotta find the right person that actually want to build and still care about, the vessels that we're bringing in. You know what I mean? Is want people that still care about the future generations that we bringing into this world. You know what I mean? Like, if we can get more people like that, people that care about the generations that's coming in, and then like to get those people to start procreating. It seems like the people that's bringing life into this world is the people that's using the kids for like stability and checks and welfare and shit like that. That's the people who having the most babies. You know what I'm saying? You will go through the diaper stuff if you had to go through the diaper stuff. All of us say we not going through it again until it's time to go through it again. They be like, we ain't going through the diaper stuff, and then soon as you see a commercial, you like, oh, they so cute. I want to have another one. Soon as let a Gerber commercial come on right now. Oh, they so cute. Keep on playing. See that motherfucker Gerber commercial. They sitting there. that old laugh. Remember the baby smell? Remember the smell of a baby? Babies be smelling so good when they little, smelling so pure. That baby smell. Yeah. Like you said, so fresh and brand new, like a car. Like a brand new car. Like that new car smell. Babies be having that new car smell. No, I'm telling you though, babies is like you can sit there and say like you don't want them, but then like after you have one and they doing all of that cute stuff, you're like, okay, I'll put up with the diaper changing. The you know For real. You say you don't wear it. People, we all say it like, man, I ain't putting up with that. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know what I'm saying, after you like even going through the stages, like you could say like You know, like, but the stages be worth it too. You'd be like, oh, so cute, little baby bump. The possibilities, thinking about the names, thinking about the future. Like a baby makes you think, like your dreams, you'll start having dreams when you're pregnant and stuff like that. You know, you'll start having dreams and stuff when you're pregnant because you're thinking about the mysteries and the wonders of the future, you know? I think life is that precious to me. Life is precious to me. I love like bringing life into this world, the concept of it, having the ability to be a part of like, someone's growth and development. Like, man, to me, that's a beautiful thing. I'd be mad that people take advantage of having that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? The smell of baby shampoo is good. It's probably Johnson and Johnson. Johnson and Johnson had the unique smellless baby shampoo and powder back in the day, baby powder. Not the white kind, the pink kind. The pink baby powder back in the day. They changed it. It used to be pink. Diapers was cool. Telling you. The next chance I get, well, no, maybe not the next. So when I get a chance to bring some life into this world, it's gonna be joyous. I know it's gonna be a whole celebration the next time I bring life into this world. People gonna gather from far and wide the next time I bring life into this world. Cause I learned too much down here not to pass it on. Like I learned too much. There's too much knowledge that I established in my brain not to pass it on. Like I be trying to pass it on to the generations that exist right now, but they don't care. Like the generations that exist right now don't care. So I be trying to pass it on to the generations that exist right now, but they don't care. So it's hard to pass it on to generations that don't care. So now it's like I gotta pass that shit along to maybe the next generation. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm having baby fever. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm having baby fever. Time for me to start looking for a suitable vessel. Time for look, somebody might come along. They might just want to have a baby and then you know what I'm saying, go along. Like they might just want to pass the baby off to me. You know what I mean? You know, all I gotta do is find somebody that just, want to have the baby, and then they could just give me the baby and I'll raise the baby. You feel me? Appreciate it, appreciate it. All they gotta do is just get through like the little breastfeeding stage and then pass off. You know what I'm saying? I'll do all the changing, all the I'll do it. I just gotta find a person that just want to bring the life into the world. That's all. We really don't need each other for nothing else but that. You know what I mean? I don't need to stay with you forever. I just need you to bring life into this world. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be with each other. We ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying? We just our job is to just bring life into this world. That's our job. So you don't want to raise the baby shit. All you gotta do is participate in the bringing the life into this world, and then I'll raise the baby. You know, yeah, that's all it's about. Is continuing bringing you know these precious vessels like this. That's it. Just bring life into this world. That's it. You find somebody that has the discipline over the flesh that can bring life into this world. See, y'all job might be harder because y'all got to carry the baby for 9 months. But if you find somebody that's willing to eat healthy and hold on to the seed and bring a righteous seed into this world, shit, you doing something great, you know. But if you find somebody that's trying to eat the shrimp while they pregnant, eat all of those low vibrational things while they pregnant, nah, when you carry in life, you got to have that discipline over the fleshly things, to put life into the baby. You know what I'm saying? You got to continue to put life into the baby. And that's come with eating fruits and vegetables and all of that stuff. And then also putting yourself in good spaces, spaces of laughter, you know what I mean? Happiness, not stress, not, all of that stuff. You got to put them in spaces of happiness, laughter, joy. And that, that's how you bring them up accordingly. But, you know, but you just gotta find the right person and then, put them in that condition where they don't have to worry for the time that they have you know what I'm saying? Just put them in a condition like where you just like got them in the house, like well taken care of, ain't got to stress or nothing like that, while they carrying the baby, all of that stuff. Ain't stressing about shit. And put good music around them, all of that good stuff. And you're gonna bring in, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna bring in a good baby, you know. But as long as we keep on doing this trauma from the womb program, as long as we keep on doing that, that's what we're gonna keep on getting the same results. As long as we keep on doing the trauma from the womb, right? As long as we keep on doing that, then we're gonna keep on getting the same results. It ain't gonna change. It ain't gonna change. Same results. But the journey is still here. I guess it's still fun. To me, the journey is still fun, because it's still that possibility. It's still those endless possibilities that this can happen and that can happen. You know what I mean? So to me, like the possibilities are endless. Like I'm looking forward to the future because of that. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to the future because I'm looking at it like, man, as long as people got a chance to change, like we in there. I ain't, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. You know, I ain't doing that whole mating dance. I am not doing that whole mating dance, or you gotta show that you got a nice car and show that you got a big house and show them your bank account and show them that I ain't doing that shit. That's what they want you to do. They want you to do the whole mating dance. I ain't doing that shit. It's gonna wait for the right person. The right person ain't gonna be worried about none of that. The right person gonna be worried about, you know, health, wealth, mental stability. That's what the real thing is, man. The real thing is the mind. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. I'm waiting for the person to come along that values intellect. You know what I mean? That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the person to come along that values intellect, that wants that intellectual, you know. Because that's the person that you're going to build something greater. You know what I mean? That's the person that you're going to build something greater with. Because then they build in their mind. You know what I'm saying? They structured their mind around intelligence. You know what I mean? When you find that person, that's when you know you find a good thing, because that person's going to value intellect, and they're going to be building their minds off of intellect. And you know what I mean? If you find somebody who like doesn't value intellect and so on and so forth, like you finding somebody that wasn't doing everything in their power to put the knowledge into their heaven. So you're building on somebody's heaven that didn't put the knowledge back in it. You want to build on somebody's heaven that actually took time to put the knowledge back in it. You know? So we were supposed to seek all the knowledge for the kingdom of heaven. We were supposed to be down here seeking knowledge. So the right person comes along that's going to be seeking knowledge. You know what I mean? They're going to be seeking knowledge with you. Now, if you get the people that's, you do get the people down here that's faking, you get the people down here that's faking like they knowledgeable. That's the ones that we call informants. You know what I'm saying? That's the informers. They are informed. So they take the information that's given to them and then they just pass on linear thinking. They really not thinking for themselves or learning for themselves. They just, repeating what they heard throughout the history of mankind and just passing on that. Like, nah. I need the people who trying to pass on like real knowledge. Like, I need the people that's passing on the knowledge. That's what's going to get us up out of here. Somebody's supposed to be bringing in a being that's, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's supposed to be bringing in a being that's knowledgeable. That's when we have, fulfilled our task down here. That's when we fulfill the task down here. When we start bringing in knowledgeable youth, intellectual beings, It's all right. We getting there. That's why they named this Generation X. That's why they gave this generation the name Generation X,
I wonder, who are you? Why do you stand tall? Where you get wisdom from? Are you really this strong? Ralph DaWise over here, Ralph DaWise over there. Atlas family affair. Interfere if you dare. We don't battle with flesh. We fight demons oppressed by life over death. Off the record like broken up ciphers, black mirrors with echoes of lies. They try feeding on us, feeding on us. We're fighting demons. They try feeding on us, feeding on us. We're fighting demons. They wonder why, point out all the wrongs. Why shine in the darkest halls? Why silence these evil calls? How dare you lift us up when we fall? We don't battle with flesh. We fight demons oppressed by life over death. Off the record like broken up ciphers, black mirrors with echoes of lies. They try feeding on us,
feeding on us.
We're fighting
Fighting
demons.
demons.
We face pretenders, fake co-creators, self-made destroyers.
Yeah, we're not really we winning because we're not feeding into their narrative.
No
So
longer getting my
you know
trust.
we're gonna forever be winners.
Like blood, none left for you demons, I'm done. They try feeding on us. Feeding, 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 feeding on us. We're fighting demons. We're fighting demons. We're fighting demons. We're fighting demons. Feeding on us. Feeding on us. We're fighting demons. They wonder why point out of the rooms, why shine in the darkest holes, why silence these evil calls. How dare you lift us up when we fall? We face pretenders, fake co-creators,
Co-creators.
self-made destroyers. No more feeding on us, no longer getting my trust. Love in my veins like blood, none left for you demons, I'm done.
Get back. Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. Nah, 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 nah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every thought sense. They don't like it when we speak. When we beat. They're living under pressure. It's not a life for the weak or the meek. Gotta rise that temperature. It's real cold in these streets. Bring the heat. A spiritual venture. Gotta watch who you greet, who you meet. You know you do right, so they tell you you're wrong. Put up a fight, they don't like that you're strong. Crave that control, so they string you along. Catch a break, that shit's prolonged. When you know you don't belong, so it's back to the same old con. With a song, bringing facts, so they want you gone. Get back to yourself. Why you tryna please these thieves? They don't wish you well. They don't wish you well. Take and throw it in your face like a show and tell. Swimming in a world of snakes. Open gate to hell as they yell. Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. Talk that talk, walk that walk. Represent for the flock. Time weighing like a bolt of tick-tock. No promise, no hope, no joy from the clock. Just annoyance when they circle and they watch on top. Ooh, that can never be. I set the mindset of a guy who believes in the lie. Got no feelings, can't cry. Hand over your money as you watch them feast with the beast. And how dare you reap a reward. Stay poor, stay lured, stay quiet, stay north. Now's not the time to give in or give up. Can't blame their way when you find yourself stuck. Don't be surprised when they show you fake love, and that's a message from the God above. A real ruler, millimeter, taking shots, aiming for your bluff. You don't like it, oh well, tough. Suck it up, get back to yourself. Why you tryna please these thieves? They don't wish you well. They don't wish you well. They throw it in your face like a show and tell. Swimming in a world of snakes. Open gate to hell as they yell. Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. King of wands, use your freedom as a pawn. Not too fond of any bond. The grass ain't greener when it comes to your lawn. Shit ain't brighter when it comes to your dawn. They wanna make it rain, leave no rainbow for your pain. They wanna pick your brain just to call you insane. All aboard the ego train, they can't move, stuck in chains. Detained, trapped in a game, cameras they stalk you. You know you can't hide, stick to yourself if you can't choose a side. Get you some sense and let go of your pride. Say goodbye to the old life, cause it died. Get back to yourself. Why you tryna please these thieves? They don't wish you well. They don't wish you well. Take and throw it in your face like a show and tell. Swimming in the world of snakes. Open gate to hell as they yell. Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. Get back to yourself. Get back.
I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I always say the same thing. I always say I'm gonna try to go live more, but we know how this shit works. You got to do the things that pay the bills. Hey, appreciate you too. Appreciate you being here. That's what I say the same thing every time I wake up. I'm just happy to be here, to experience, you know, this thing that we call life. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy to be a part of what we call life. Like, because so many not here, you know what I mean? So many that's not here. I'm just happy to be a part of this thing called life. You know? Life is precious. We gotta start treating it like such. We gotta start treating life as precious. We gotta start, you know what I mean? We really gotta start valuing life again. It's like as the population grew and it got more crowded, we stopped valuing life. You know, we praise the unaliving process more than we praise the living process. We praise taking life out of this world more than we praise bringing life in it. You know, and maybe that was the test that the devil gave. That the devil asked God to allow him to do. He said, I bet you I can get them to praise the unaliving process as much as they praise the living process, the living process. I bet you that's what the test was, to see if we can pray, because that's what it was. According to Greek mythology, Hades wanted the rule of the mind. Like Hades wanted the rule of the plane. Like he wanted to, he wanted people to praise death. And that's what's happening right now. You know, we are finding out just how much they praise the unaliving. You know what I mean? They praise the unaliving process. You see it. You see it happening right now. You know? It's like the unks was a representation of life, and then the cross was a representation of death. And everybody's praising it. Everybody's praising the unaliving process. That is what's happening right now. You watching. We working. It's happening. It already happened in other dimensions, to be honest. It's already changed. In other dimensions, it changed already. That's why it's showing in the physical like this. That's the only reason why it can be seen in the physical like this, is because it already changed in the multiverse. In the multiple dimensions, it already changed. Here, we're just now exhibiting the change and we're like, oh man, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But everywhere else, it changed. Everywhere else, we noticed the change. Everywhere else, we could say it changed. The physical, the 3D realm, they are like, we're slowly showing that change right now in the 3D. We're slowly showing that change in the 3D right now. We see all of this happening. It's changing, but you know, some stuff got to be revealed to us. You know, some stuff got to be revealed to us first. So a lot of this stuff got to be revealed to us, and then you know, people will take heed to it more once it's revealed to us. Right now, they're showing it to us, but it ain't revealed yet. You know what I mean? Right now, they showing it to us, but it ain't been like fixed. Like they're showing it to us because they want us to see that this exists. You know what I mean? They want us to see that this exists in the world, right? So they showing it to us. And then we have to have that will to say that this is not the world we want to live in. This is not the image we want to uphold. This is not the idea. This is not, you know, so the world's going to show it to us, but then we have to be willing to be like, hey, you know what? We want to do better. We want a different reality. We want a better reality than this. You know what I mean? So we have to have the willpower to, you know, bring that better reality to the collective. We got to have that willpower to be like, you know what? I want to bring something better. I don't want this. And then we'll start seeing that change. You know what I'm saying? We'll start seeing that better change. You know what I mean? Once more people have that willpower, then you'll be like, oh, okay. Makes sense now. Yeah, we got to see a new heaven before we see a new earth. You know, we can't see a new earth until we see a new heaven first. And heaven is your mind. So until it's changed in the minds of the multitude, we're not going to see a new heaven then a new earth. You know what I mean? Until it's changed in the minds of the multitude. Once it's changed in the minds of the multitude, then we'll start seeing a new earth. Then we'll start seeing the reality that comes with that change. You know what I mean? We'll start seeing it like, oh, okay. But right now, we have to, you know, fight that battle in the mind, right? That battle is going on in the mind right now. You know what I mean? So we got to fight that battle in the mind. And then you'll start seeing it. So that's why I keep on telling people, you know, be the change that you want to see, because only through those exemplatory measures of being the change that you want to see can real change exist. You know what I mean? So once we be the change that we want to see, then real change will exist. You know what I mean? Real change will show. You know, then we can say, okay, this real change. But we ain't going to see it until, you know, our minds are changed. We until we change in the collective, like, okay, we want a better society, we want a better collective, we want a better, you know, once we see that we want better, then we'll start, you know, getting that better of what we say we want. But as long as we keep on accepting the reality that is, and keep on accepting this, you know, rhetoric of how we're treating each other and going about treating each other, then yeah, we're going to keep getting the same results. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep getting the same results. So once we start, wanting better for each other, holding each other for higher standards, looking at each other, then we'll start seeing that. We'll start seeing everybody else, hold themselves to higher standards and a higher dignity level. You know what I mean? Once we see it, like then we'll be like, okay, so I want better for myself, therefore I want better for others. Right? I want better for myself, so I want better for others. But as long as we're not wanting better for ourselves, then how can we say we want better for others? You know? Once we and it's gonna be great too. It'll be great once we start wanting better for ourselves. Mm. Hold on, I gotta go wake something up. He was already up. That's it. He was up at 10. Man, that's what they scared of. That day that we realize that we're powerful collectively in the minds, right? Once they realize that we're powerful, once we all realize how powerful we are in the minds, oh man, I look forward to that day. Y'all make sure y'all join the Discord. If y'all didn't already join the Discord, join the Discord. Join it. Stop saying that you joining it and join the Discord. It ain't nothing but a link. That's all you gotta do is click on the link. Click on the link and you in the Discord. I've been listening to the things that's been going on here. And that's why I say sometimes I just gotta try to put positive back into, the world, because like I've been listening to like the things that's going on here, and I'm just like, damn, they still doing the same thing after all this time. After all this time, they're still doing the same thing. It's just crazy. Even on YouTube, as I watch the same thing take place on YouTube, I'm like, damn, like how is that? How is the same thing taking place on YouTube and TikTok? Oh, appreciate the cash app. Hey, I appreciate that. I ain't seen one of them pop up in a minute. Kind of forgot. I kind of forgot that y'all can support that way. Nah, I'm joking. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Love is love. Namaste. I say salutation, salam, peace. Appreciate it. You know who you are. I ain't gonna say the name because then it'll put target on your back if I say the name. You know they target anybody that's supporting. That's why people stop sending everything. You know what I mean? People stop really supporting. That's why they stopped supporting me. I'm like, damn, all the supporters scared to show that they a member, scared to show that they supporting. Damn. That's funny to me. Like, damn, y'all just gonna stop supporting like that? Damn, that's crazy. Where's the love? Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Ain't no love in the heart of town. What's good with you? I have been over on TikTok though. My TikTok numbers have been doing great. I think they want me to do a live on Sean Davy Way over there. They want me to expose Sean Davy Way on TikTok. They don't really know the true Sean Davy. They say, we just see what he posts on Instagram and over here. We don't really see his YouTube. Like, what? I don't see his YouTube. And I'm just telling them like these are the characters in our community that's actually, more dangerous than anything because they're the ones that literally they're the ones that are keeping this beef stuff going. 5 years still beefing with Jaguar, right? Come on. We not doing that. Listen, we not doing that, okay? If we ain't figured something out within like the first 6 months of, let's say the first 3 months. If we ain't figured something out the first 3 months, then yeah. You know what I mean? And we still beefing with somebody after 3 months, 6 months, like, come on. Come on. You know? Crazy world. I'm in the line to just be like, hell no. Oh yeah, that is true too. I tell people all the time, the best way to donate is to give, in that method, you know what I mean? Because then they can get 100% of it. But, some people always say like they'll rather do the other way because some some people want credit for their support. Some people don't. Some people just want to support the person or whatever. But then some people want their names to pop up on the screen Don't ask me why. We about to take a break and then we're gonna go live on TikTok. We gotta go back live on TikTok. Yeah, I know people get hacked all the time. Y'all make sure y'all join the Discord. Make sure y'all come over to Ralph DaWise on TikTok and kick it with us over there. We're gonna go to Ralph DaWise on TikTok and talk about whatever it is we talk about over there. But you gotta come over there to see what it is we talk about over there. Damn, I just thought about it. I ain't got nobody to go kick it with for damn Father's Day. Ain't nobody to kick it with. Every day is Father's and Mother's Day, yeah. Yeah, make sure y'all go over there. Yeah, we're gonna go live again today. Hopefully.
I wonder, who are you? Why do you stand tall? Where you get wisdom from? Are you really this strong? Ralph DaWise over here, Ralph DaWise over there. Atlas family affair. Interfere if you dare. We don't battle with flesh, we fight demons oppressed by life over death. Off the record like broken up ciphers.